Hello everyone, so my name is Nayeli Rivera. Today we're going to be using the Pythagorean theorem to find a sine, cosine, or tangent. So in my problem below, it says find tan, where the 0 is the angle shown. Find the exact value or decimal. Okay, so we're going to try to find this angle right here, or we're going to try to find the opposite. So this is our opposite, this would be our hypotenuse, and then the 8 right here would be our adjacent. So before we continue, remember that tan equals to opposite over adjacent, right? So we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Just in case you guys forget what the Pythagorean theorem is, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, so we're going to use it today as we're going to use our hypotenuse. The h is going to be equal to our hypotenuse. The a is going to equal adjacent, and the O will equals our opposite. So to get this, before we do the actual word problem, let's go back into the Pythagorean theorem. Remember, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So here we're going to use a squared would be a as in our adjacent, a squared, plus b squared will do o, which is our opposite, equals, well, of course, the hypotenuse. And for c squared, we will use our hypotenuse, so it would be h squared. So if we put all that together, if we look back, a squared would be our adjacent, which is 8. So it's 8 squared plus our opposite from the 0, from our angle, we don't have it, so it would stay the same. It would be o squared equals, so our hypotenuse on our right triangle would be 17, so it would be 17 squared. So before we get going, we're gonna subtract 8 squared from both sides. Sorry. Beautiful. Sorry. So when we do that, we're gonna leave the o squared by itself, equals o squared equals 17 squared minus 8 squared. So to leave the o, for it to not be a square anymore, we would have to find the square root of 17 squared minus 8 squared. But before we do that, I like to simplify first, because or else for me it's more easier. So here we go. So o squared equals 17 squared minus 8 squared equals 225. So right here, to leave the o by itself and take off the square root, we would have to find, to take off the square root of 2, so we would have to find the square root of 225. So the square root of 225 is 15. So now we know that our opposite angle, which would be this one, is 15. And that's how you do it. I hope you understood sort of my explanation, and thank you for watching.